the country manager told me outright, you know what, you're a sweet girl, but you just don't have what it takes to be a successful recruiter. And that crushed me. It crushed my little heart. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Nicole Nyasha and I share career-related content. Lately, I've been getting a lot of questions and comments with people wanting to know how I got into HR, both here on YouTube as well as on Instagram in my DMs. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing my career story. I was thinking about it, and I think the best way to explain it is to start from the very beginning. So if you didn't know, I actually did both my undergraduate and postgraduate degrees in Malaysia. I completed my undergraduate in business and marketing management a couple of years ago in Malaysia. And back then, there were very limited opportunities if you were not a local Malaysian. It was one of those, you come to Malaysia, complete your studies, and go back to your country. So during that period where I completed my studies but was waiting for graduation, I decided to look for a job, and I got a job in customer service. That was literally the best I could find at that point. So my idea then was to take this job, make money for a couple of months, and then go back home, which was Zimbabwe. So when I took the job, I just decided, you know what, this is what's available. Let me make the most of it for the next couple of months, and then we'll see where the road takes us. So from day one, I got in with my head in the game, and surely within a couple of months, I think 7 or 8 months, I actually got promoted to become a support staff. So as a support staff, I was involved a lot with like training and development, as well as like floor support, just assisting people, assisting agents who needed help with their calls and who were not sure of the process. After 5 months in this role, I got promoted again to become a team manager. Obviously, I was very excited. So there I was as this black girl being promoted in this country where it's close to impossible to get opportunities. And so I was now making a little bit more money. So I decided to go back to school, take my postgraduate degree. So I was working a lot of overtime to make extra money, at the same time going to school. Literally had no life for about a year and a half whilst I completed my studies. And then after I completed my studies, I stayed on in the role. And after about 2 years, I just got fed up with the role. It became very routine, and I was asking myself, you know what, what's next? I had gotten to like the very ceiling of where I could reach in that company, and there was just like nothing else. I had gotten all the promotions I could get, took on all the projects I could take, got all the certifications I could get, and I was just fed up of the whole situation. So I started doing my research, looking for what other positions I could do as a foreigner in this country, and I realized that some companies were hiring salespeople, and they were fine with you being a foreigner. So just to give you some context, the department that I was in, like the call center, it was general inquiries for the largest telecommunications company in Southeast Asia. So as part of general inquiries, when customers called in, a component of our KPI was upselling certain services. So when I looked at it, I had this transferable skill of upselling services, which was sales. So I went to LinkedIn, created my profile, and back then LinkedIn was not as popular as it is today. So I had to do like a ton of research, learn how LinkedIn works. So created my profile, branded myself as a sales professional, and started applying for jobs. I would go interview. I would speak to people on the phone actually, and everything would be fine. They would bring me into the interview. The moment they realize I am black, it just wouldn't work out. They'll let me know, oh, it's nothing personal, it's just company policy. So it was just unfortunate that in that time, that's how Malaysia was. I'm not sure if it has changed. But anyway, about 3 months down the road, after I'd created my LinkedIn profile, I actually got headhunted by a recruiter from Hayes Recruitment, and they wanted me to join them as a recruiter. And so when I got onto the phone with the recruiter, of course I had questions. I wanted to know why or how I would fit in because I didn't have recruitment experience. So when I spoke to the recruiter, she explained to me how recruitment is actually sales, which is true because on one end you're upselling your services to clients to get their business. On the other end, you're selling these opportunities to candidates. So it sounded exciting, it sounded lucrative. So she booked for me to have an interview, and I went for the interview. The interview was with the company's managing director, and I failed dismally at that interview. The country manager told me outright, you know what, you're a sweet girl, but you just don't have what it takes to be a successful recruiter. And that crushed me. It crushed my little heart. I was heartbroken, went back home. And then in conversation with my boyfriend then, who is now my husband, he was like, okay, so are you gonna just like let it slide, or are you gonna do something about it? So he suggested that we write back to this country manager. I expressed my interest and asked for another chance to interview. So he helped me with that. I sent an email out to them, and I got another opportunity. So in the second opportunity to interview, I had to make a sales pitch in front of the country manager, a senior manager, and two other manager. It was like a panel of 4 people. My boyfriend then helped me to prepare for it. I went for the sales pitch, knocked it out of the park, and I got the job. I actually remember right now how I felt then. It was like I won the lottery, seriously. So just to backtrack a little bit, whilst I was in that season or period of thinking, okay, what do I do next? What's next for me? I had actually applied for my Canadian PR to come to Canada. And right when I got the Hayes offer, I also got my Canadian PR. So I was now faced with the decision to say, okay, do I go to Canada or do I stay and take this opportunity with Hayes? So I decided to take the opportunity with Hayes. I thought to myself, if I go to Canada right now, what am I going to do in terms of a career? So I had this opportunity to stay on with Hayes, learn as much as I could about recruitment, and then when I come to Canada, I can brand myself as a recruitment professional. So I did exactly that, stayed on, learned as much as I could, and then after a year, I resigned with Hayes and came to Canada. So when I came to Canada, because I had been so successful on LinkedIn before, I went back to LinkedIn, started doing research about companies, looking up senior managers, country directors, reached out to them on LinkedIn, and to the glory of God, I was able to get a job within 2 weeks of being in Canada. So I got a job as a recruitment consultant and worked with that company. And then in 2020, the pandemic happened and things just became slow. At that time, the early stages of the pandemic, a lot of companies were just not sure what's going on, so they cut back on hiring, and a lot of recruitment agencies got hit really hard. And so after a few months of trying to make it work, I just decided to quit my job and started pursuing other things. So that's when I started career coaching, taking YouTube more seriously. And during that period, I got headhunted again by another company on LinkedIn, and they were setting up operations here in North America. And so I spoke with them and everything went well. And this was towards the end of 2020, and I already had plans to travel. So I let them know that, you know what, I do want to join them, but I do want to travel. So if they're willing to wait for me to join either end of January or beginning of February, then I'd be fine with it. So they agreed. I went on my vacation, came back end of January, and started the new position. After starting this position and being in it for a couple of weeks, I realized I was not the best person for this position. Of course, I knew it was construction and engineering before taking it, but I thought it would be fine. I thought I would handle it, but I quickly realized that, you know what, it's not for me. So at this point, you already know that I've gotten all my jobs through LinkedIn, from when I came out of customer service to join Hayes, when I came to Canada, and now with this current company that I was with, the construction company. So I thought to myself, okay, what do I do next? I am in this role. It's a pretty good role. It's paying me well, but I'm not enjoying speaking to construction professionals. So I went back to LinkedIn again, spruced up my profile, and got headhunted again by this current company that I work with today. So I met with them, and they were looking for somebody with recruitment experience to join the team, and everything went well. It sounded like a great culture. They extended an offer. I accepted it, and that's how I found myself in this role that I'm in today. I have been loving this position. It's obviously a bit of a challenge sometimes, and it's a huge learning curve for me because all my recruitment experience has been on the agency side, but it's also very exciting because now I'm on the client or brand side, and I get to be involved with other aspects of HR like strategy, employer branding, the workforce planning aspect of things, and just like working with different stakeholders and working on a lot of fun, exciting projects. So as you can tell, I've gotten all my jobs on LinkedIn. I am a LinkedIn expert, and I'd love to share that knowledge with you and help you position and brand yourself on LinkedIn to get the results that you'd like. So I'm going to be putting a link in the description box. If you need help in that area, definitely reach out to me and we can get onto a call and make it happen. And so if you're going to take anything away from my story, I just want you to remember that regardless of what position you're in, at whatever stage of your career that you're in, every role can really translate into something else. And if you can just do your research and think about what your transferable skills are, you can by all means move from that particular role into something else. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.